Tomas, do you really think that this was a Night of Champions? Because I'm looking at this match card that we're about to talk about, and there's only 2 championship matches. How many fucking belts does this company have? How many?
On one hand, if we did have a real Night of Champions, we're looking at like a 13-match card.
Yeah, he did.
But on the other hand,
we're looking at a buy one get one for free extravaganza.
But on the other hand, this also had the King and Queen of the Ring tournament finals. So King and Queen of the Ring, was that too hard to name this pay-per-view?
What? Why not just call it King and Queen of the Ring? Exactly, because they put the graphics up during the opener and the women's match later. But no, they're just calling it Night of Champions because
I don't know. You know, back in our day, there was a pay-per-view called Night of Champions, and every single championship was on the line. That's when WWE had 8 titles, and that was pushing it too.
8 or 9 belts, yeah. No, that included a women's title, a Divas title, 2 tag titles, 2 world titles. Yeah, no,
a cruiserweight title,
an ECW title.
I think the last time there was a true Night of Champions was in 2019, and
No, I don't. Wait, no, that wasn't even Night of Champions. That was Clash of Champions.
Well, you know, a pay-per-view concept where every championship is on the line, and that brought us great matches like Shinsuke Nakamura versus fucking Jeff Hardy. Some shit like that. I tried, you know. Anywho, we're already getting off on a tangent.
AJ Styles versus Cedric Alexander
on the pre-show, nonetheless.
God, that still pisses me off. But Night of Champions 2025 emanated from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Good old freaking Riyadh. They did not move this pay-per-view like I initially had pitched, because WWE has blood money on their hands that they have to fulfill, even though the Iranian nuclear strikes were happening egregiously.
A very uncomfortable situation for WWE. I am very glad and relieved that nothing happened to any of the wrestlers or any of the crew. Apparently, some of the crew got trapped in an airport in, please correct me if I'm wrong, Qatar?
Qatar, yeah.
Qatar, yeah, thank you. So, I mean, I do understand at the very last second, it is very difficult to relocate a pay-per-view. I just hope WWE takes everybody's safety into account when doing this in the future. But nonetheless, I actually enjoyed the show.
It was good.
I thought it was a solid enough show. I don't think it was good as Money in the Bank.
It was inoffensive, I would say. I mean, there's one match result that I feel like Tomas and I are going to get into that definitely sort of rubbed us the wrong way the more and more we think about it. But other than that, I mean, there are way worse ways to spend 3 hours of your life. And this pay-per-view pretty much ended right at the top of the 3rd hour. It ended right on time. 6 matches on this card, and a good chunk of them were really good quality-wise. A
couple of them even took me by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
There was 2 matches in particular on the show where I was like, it's a Raw match. And I mean, it still could have been a very high-quality Raw match, but there was one match in particular that really took me by surprise. And then there's one that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have some criticisms right off the bat, the tournament finals, again, we said it at Money in the Bank, this was the definition of playing it safe. And when I heard one side of the brackets finals, I was just very disappointed, because there were like 3 possibilities of what the finals could have been, and those possibilities were way more fun. I was very, very, very wrong when they announced these brackets. I had 2 entirely different winners in mind, and I couldn't have been more wrong if I tried, of who I thought was going to win this. I thought that this was Stephanie Buckhair's tournament to win.
Yeah, I predicted each tournament like exactly as the winners go. I mean, I was calling it basically like once this tournament was announced with a certain person involved, I was like, I mean, how do you get to a SummerSlam main event? The easiest. It's this way, you know?
But as we get into this opening matchup, I will say there are more than one way to skin a cat, and there's more than one way to get to a certain conclusion. And I thought the other ways they could have gotten to this conclusion would have been a hell of a lot more fun than just going the same basic vanilla way. But I feel like there's some new components in this that is definitely going to, like, I don't know, it's going to feel different. And I feel like we should stop beating around the bush and get to this opening matchup in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, going up against the Viper, Randy Orton, for the second time making it to the King of the Ring finals.
I did the pose. Okay, sorry.
Let me say this now. Are you fucking happy now? Is everybody happy? We got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
I'm very happy.
Fucking Christ. If I heard one more time, the legacy match, I was going to fucking go crazy.
Well, where the fuck is Ted DiBiase? It's not a legacy match without him.
His legacy is going to be behind bars.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to come up with a really, really terrible pun involving him and raising the bar. But anyway, Cody and Randy Orton had the best match on this show. I will sit here and yeah, no, you think I'm crazy, but I think this was the best match on the show. Randy and Cody both come out serenaded by the crowd, who was very off rhythm. I will tell you that much. I don't even know if it was the language barrier or what, but it was very apparent that, I mean, they knew the words, but they felt like they were behind when they were singing Randy's song, especially. But the big story of this match, again, all the history, 15 years, Randy was the one who kind of handpicked Cody to be his protege, if you will, because fuck Ted DiBiase. But a big story within the match itself was Randy's surgically repaired back. There was a point early on where Randy hit a big old gigantic superplex on Cody, and it felt like Cody got up before Randy did, and Randy was the one who hit the move because Randy was selling his back. Did you notice that?
I did notice that, and I know the back was a big it was a big target throughout the match. I kind of question Cody's psychology in this match, because was it just me, or when the back was the target, he was going for Orton's legs?
Well, I mean, aside from when he was like wrenching Randy like spider style, like on the ring post, and his back was like being contorted like in a yoga pose, like it's this crowd was, funnily enough, more into Randy than they were into Cody.
Also, yeah, I got to give the Saudi Arabian crowd the credit where it's deserved. They bring it, and they've been really bringing it to the last couple of pay-per-views. Despite how you feel about certain political beliefs over in Saudi Arabia, the Saudi Arabian fans do not deserve to hate. Don't be xenophobic. That's not why we're here. We don't preach that. They love professional wrestling. They love the WWE, and when WWE comes to town, they fucking bring it. So it was really cool to see the fans really hype for this match. The most interesting dynamic of this match to me was how this was a pure babyface match, but both Cody and Orton were showing heel tendencies at times.
Yes. Yeah. And there were points where, I think the story going into SummerSlam and for Cody Rhodes going forward, because a lot of people want Cody Rhodes to go heel right now. And I think that would be a very ballsy choice for WWE to do it right now, with how over Cody Rhodes is as the top guy, as the quarterback, if you will. But again, I have seen stranger things happen in wrestling, like John Cena turning heel. So really, anything is on the table.
It's also very strange to see Cody openly in interviews saying, "Yeah, my time as a babyface is winding down." Like,
no. I think we're reading too much into that. I think there was like a bit of a clickbait headline there and lazy reporting on their part, if I could quote Mr. Cena for a second.
Can we at least pretend that kayfabe is still alive?
Yes.
Can we at least pretend?
Please.
Because, there's one sliver of kayfabe left in me, and that's what makes pro wrestling. And, if I might as well just watch boxing if you're just going to rip the curtain to shreds. I know the curtain's been ripped to shreds for years thanks to the internet, but it's like, let the kids still believe. Still let the kids in us still believe in this shit. Like, come on, some of us, this is all the only fucking thing they got going for them.
Or fuck it, I'd go watch UFC if you want the unscripted shit. Like,
so yeah, I think Cody and Orton had very good chemistry in this match, and this was a very competitive match. If I'm going to nitpick on something, so first of all, Cody kicked out of 2 RKOs. But one RKO in particular, Cody went for a Cody cutter, and it was countered into one of the most beautiful looking RKOs I've ever seen. That's the fucking finish to a match, and Cody kicked out of 2.
I do agree that it was a spectacular looking spot, but psychologically speaking, that spot was bullshit. Again, let me tell you why. Cody Rhodes, when he delivers that Cody cutter, how does he land?
Directly into an RKO.
Well, no. When he normally delivers a Cody cutter, how does Cody deliver the Cody cutter? Tell me.
Like a stunner? Is this a trick question? Okay.
Cody lands flat on his back. And when Cody went for this Cody cutter, he magically is facing forward, stomach down, like he's feeding into the RKO.
It's like he was going for a flying nothing.
That is bullshit. That was not going for a Cody cutter. I'm sorry. Like, there's no fucking way that you can tell me that Cody was not feeding into it. Like,
there is a certain finesse. There is an art to the flying nothing. I feel like it's best described as, when you peel it back, you go, okay, if you didn't miss that spot, what the fuck were you going to do? But you need to kind of just put up a facade to whatever the counter was. It's going to make you forget that the flying nothing was there in the first place. We all know Cody goes for the Cody cutter. So I feel like he peeled it back a little too much. Like, if this is the first time Cody went for a springboard anything, that's a different story. But
the disaster kick. The disaster kick. This was one of the best RKOs I've ever seen. Motherfucker, it doesn't even reach the top 20 RKOs.
I agree.
Come on.
The Seth Rollins one is still my favorite RKO of all time.
No.
The Matt Sydal one was a little too choreographed, but it was still impressive as all fuck. I love the one... there was another RKO in particular. I love the one at SummerSlam 2011, the one he did to Christian.
Yes.
On the steel steps.
I love the one at War Games when Randy came back and the baby faces threw JD McDonough into the fucking pit and Randy had to catch him in an RKO. That was fucking sweet.
That was fucking insane.
Yeah.
One of my most underrated RKOs is Randy Orton RKOing the Great Khali. Just because that fool is damn near 8 feet tall. Orton's vertical leap is insane to reach a fucking RKO on Great Khali.
I like Randy Orton RKOing Mark Henry and then him doing a sailor leap afterwards in celebration because he got the big 400-pound monster down. I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was funny that Randy celebrated that way. But yeah, you're going to notice a lot of finisher kickouts on this show. And a lot of people have argued that RKO should have been a fucking finish. And I'm like, number one, Cody fed into the move, so I'm not going to buy into it as the finish. It's so egregious. But by comparison, Cody just hits one crossroads on Randy and pins him to become the king of the ring, predictably.
Hey, remember a couple years ago before Orton got injured when the RKO was the most protected move in WWE?
It's the most devastating 3 letters in all of sports entertainment, and a lot of people kick out of it now.
Orton can't use that catchphrase anymore, I'm sorry.
No.
But before we get into the aftermath of this match, there was one particular very interesting detail.
I forgot about it. Are you going to talk about the punt kick?
No, okay, but no, let's talk about that.
Okay, yeah, because Randy, there was a point where Cody was in prime position for him to hit that devastating punt kick that put down many legends back in the end of the Ruthless Aggression going into PG eras. It's basically the move that made the Viper nowadays. He goes for the punt, and he is setting up for the punt, but he sees his victim, and it's Cody. He can't fucking do it. He can't put Cody out of his misery.
Orton's downfall, in my opinion.
Yep.
I feel like Orton's kind of lost that killer instinct since returning, and it's something he needs to return to, which is going to go into my next point. Also, very important that Orton's heel tendencies included bringing a steel chair into the ring and doing the classic bait and switch when the referee was getting rid of the chair. He exposed the top turnbuckle, and he ended up eating the exposed steel. Classic heel trope there.
Yes.
But like you said, Cody wins the King of the Ring, which is a huge notch in his belt. But did you notice when Cody was praising Orton after the match, Orton had this look on his face, kind of like a how fucking dare you? And this, in my opinion, is the beginning to an Orton heel turn.
Yeah, because Randy, I mean, it's, again, it would be ballsy to turn Randy Orton heel at this point because the crowds fucking love him. And he has his song being sang all over the world. It's tough to kind of envision a crowd still singing the song if Randy's a heel. But then again...
they'll still fucking do it. They'll still do it.
I mean, people sang Judas when Jericho was a heel, so it doesn't really matter. But
I just think in the evolution of Orton's character, it's almost... I think it's time for him to turn heel again. Is he still on that losing streak of losing every single pay-per-view match since he returned?
No, he won over Joe Hendry at WrestleMania.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
As much as I love babyface Randy Orton, as charismatic as he is, I feel like the best of him comes out when he's a heel, especially when he's a heel with motivation. Like, take 2019 heel Randy Orton. That was the most boring heel Randy Orton I've ever seen in my life because he didn't have motivation. He was just bullying Ricochet because he wanted to. But when he had motivation, when he went after Edge, that's when the real Randy Orton came out.
Him doing the concerto. Oh man, yeah. With the night Edge returned, night after his return. Oh,
RKOing Beth Phoenix.
Yes, yeah. That's those segments.
Punt kicking Christian, Ric Flair, Mark Henry, and a Big Show to AEW.
Yeah, that's a curse. That's a curse that you didn't really think about, did you? But yeah, I think for a first match between these two guys, because I know a lot of people were wanting Cody Rhodes to face Randy Orton ever since he returned. I think this match did everything it needed to do. And I'm still going to give it 4.25. I think this is the best wrestled match on the show. I think it's probably the best overall match on the show. Honestly, I'm really compelled to see where this story goes once the quarterback takes the ball back.
That was a very interesting promo Cody cut after the match where he basically said, "Listen, I know you guys get a little passionate when I wrestle your favorites like Jey Uso and Randy Orton, but hey, it's time for the quarterback to take the ball back." And I feel like they're kind of play testing a heel turn with Cody. I'm not saying it's going to happen right now, but I kind of like the idea of Cody being a super arrogant heel, kind of like I know it's been it's kind of been a cliche, especially when he's in AEW, like, oh, Cody's Homelander, but I would like to see Cody kind of embrace that character, kind of be like think of Homelander's speech, the "you're not the hero, I'm the hero." I would love to see Cody embrace that side of him.
Yeah. And it's like, again, it's sort of like with Two-Face in The Dark Knight, John Cena in 2025. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Again, I have seen crazier things happen in the world of wrestling. So a Cody heel turn, a Cody heel turn is not off the table. Would I do it right now? Probably not. But again, it's still, anything is possible. Clearly,
a Cody heel turn is definitely, it's 100% going to happen, and I think it needs to happen, but not right now. And especially when they were talking about at WrestleMania, hell no. Hell to the no.
No.
But like I was saying before, I'm not saying this was lazy. This was just the most predictable, boring, safe way to get Cody to the title match. Because we had some possibilities. We had some combinations here. I remember when the brackets were going the way they were, I said, don't make me choose between Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, because that would have been a super compelling finals match.
Oh, yeah.
Sami Zayn and Jey Uso would have been, talk about making the fans pick between the fan favorites, and they have their history. But to go with Cody and Orton, it was just like, well, damn, you might as well just give Cody the crown now.
Yeah,
and also
because we already did the Cena Orton match.
Yeah, so it's like they weren't going to do that, and also there are other ways to get Cody to the title. I mean, my brilliant idea was to have Cena hold the title all the way until December, and have this like
he's not going
Cody's
to though.
Back into the corner. Yeah, have Cody back into the corner and be like, he has one more chance to win the title, or Cena leaves with it forever, and Cody's the embarrassment of WWE now. But yeah, this was just the safe way, and it feels like WWE's kind of throwing in the towel with the Cena heel turn. Even though I think there's some interesting aspects of the heel turn, which I'll talk about when we get to the main event.
Yeah, it's getting to that time where we need the good old vitamin eating, milk drinking hero to come back. I don't I don't know what I just said, but anyway.
Yeah.
Up next we have, fittingly enough, speaking of over baby faces, the first ever street fight in a Saudi Arabia show. It's Rhea Ripley going up against Raquel Rodriguez, two best friends turned bitter enemies. How we got here partially is also due to the fact that Liv Morgan is unfortunately injured. So it's Raquel really stepping up to the plate and holding both of those titles. And it was just announced on Raw. I think you watched it already. But Roxanne Perez is officially a member of the Judgment Day now. I guess R-Truth approved her application, and she is in. So it's now Raquel and Roxanne holding these tag titles, which really don't mean jack shit anymore. And
isn't it crazy? This is the second time in a year this has happened. WWE really is hell-bent on keeping titles on people instead of just stripping them of the titles and crowning new champions. It happened with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, and now it's happening with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. WWE,
it happened with Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville too, didn't it?
Take the fucking L, WWE. The women's tag team titles should not be your fucking priority when it comes to not vacating them this bad. These titles are fucking cursed. And have you noticed that Rodriguez and Morgan have yet to defend the titles since they won them back the night after WrestleMania?
Nothing.
Also, it goes without saying, when they announced this match, I kind of just go, okay, this is kind of weird to have this match on a pay-per-view. This kind of feels like a Raw match. But as I was watching the build,
it was fun.
It's kind of refreshing to see a main eventer in a different feud that doesn't involve the World Championship. It's a breath of fresh air. I mean, every single over babyface has their haters. And unfortunately, Rhea Ripley's starting to get some of her haters. So I feel like...
Which I don't understand.
If you pull back on her just a little, it's a good thing to give the fans a breather, especially from the top stars.
Rhea Ripley is over now in the same way that Lita was over in the Attitude Era. Because a lot of these young girls are looking at Rhea Ripley and they're seeing... that girl's just like me. And, and a lot of people are looking at Rhea Ripley and, they're smitten with her in more ways than one. And I don't want to say that's like the reason she's over or anything, obviously, because Rhea Ripley is a star regardless. Her in-ring talent is unmatched, in my opinion. Right now, she is the MVP of this women's division, no question. And she goes in there with her best friend in Raquel Rodriguez, and you can tell that anytime you go in there as a wrestler with someone you consider a close confidant in real life, you're going to be a little bit stiffer with them.
Yeah.
And you see this with cases like Sheamus and Rusev on Raw. You see
Sheamus
this.
and Drew McIntyre.
Sheamus and Drew, exactly. Drew McIntyre, even Drew and Jinder Mahal get freaking waylaying on each other. And Drew was just at Jinder Mahal's wedding. Congratulations to Jinder.
This is pretty fucking cool. They had a 3MB reunion and everything.
They did, yeah. I saw that picture. It was legendary. But this match was fun. It's typical WWE plunder that you would see in a street fight. You got your steel chairs, your kendo sticks, tables, which thank God don't have the Slim Jim logo plastered on them anymore. Jesus Christ. Like, oh, like, why TKO, you have so much money. Why do you need to put sponsors on the weapons?
It's so,
why?
Let's get into that right now. In the beginning, I didn't have an issue with the sponsors because, I think about boxing, I think about UFC, I think about WCW back in the day. The huge Slim Jim logo that was in the middle of the ring. So in the beginning, it didn't bother me. It wasn't until like last week's episode of Raw or that I was watching it and I go, this is fucking sensory overload. You have 6 different sponsors on the ring mat. You have sponsors on the ring post. You have sponsors on the apron. You have sponsors on the barricades. You have sponsors on the weapons. You have the Prime Hydration Station. You have sponsors on the announce tables. It's like, when is enough enough?
Which, fuck Prime, by the way. The sponsors on the ring mats and even the sponsors on the turnbuckles or the barricade, that part doesn't bother me. Like, the actual, like, big, gigantic set pieces that you can't move around, like, I'm fine with that. It's like if you go to a theater and you see a sponsor, like, plastered on the apron of the stage. It sounds ridiculous, but you can't really move that around. It's going to sit there the entire time. Imagine
you can ignore it to an extent, but when you can't, I feel like I know where you're going with this.
When you put sponsors on the props, that's when it gets a little bit ridiculous and it looks like a cartoon. Like
take NASCAR drivers for example. Seeing their cars and their uniforms plastered with sponsors, it becomes an eyesore after a while. Like,
well, that's how you identify them too.
Yeah,
Tony Stewart was the Home Depot guy. It's that's how you identified his car. It was big, bright, and orange. It had Home Depot plastered on it. Ricky Bobby had the Wonder Bread logo in the movie, so that's how you identify him.
So the sponsors in WWE are starting to get a little ridiculous. It's kind of like 2 years ago, I kind of fucking miss the blank canvas. And hey, WWE's not the only guilty one. AEW does it too. They got their sponsors on the ring mat. I miss the days when it was just the AEW logo. To me, that was peak AEW.
Yeah. But in any regard, this match was very physical. Raquel gave Ripley a heinous-looking powerbomb through the cover of the announce table, which was bridged over the barricade in the timekeeper's area. Ripley was folded in half. Did not look comfortable at all. Ripley does get the upper hand, but out comes Roxanne Perez to run interference, the newest Judgment Day member who has been trying to get cozy with Dirty Dom. And Ripley, they have a little sequence on the outside. They have a whole ass Raw match on the outside while Raquel's taking a rest. And Ripley...
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Ripley put a trash can over Perez's head and then did a fucking running knee, didn't she?
Yes, yeah. And Roxanne is so tiny that you could fold her up and fit her entire body in that trash can. Like...
Perez can sell.
Yes.
Dare I say she's starting to become like the female JD McDonough?
I feel like, all due respect, I feel like Roxanne has potential to be a bigger star than JD McDonough is right now.
For sure. But honestly, putting her in the Judgment Day was the best thing they could do for her. It's like there is a huge risk nowadays bringing in new stars with such a bloated roster where it's like, if you have them do the usual rack up some wins and try to get to a championship, they're going to get lost among the shuffle.
But then again,
action with something to do is sometimes the better route.
Then again, when is enough enough? Because this Judgment Day faction has been going on for God knows how long. I feel like the story has reached its shelf life, especially since Damian Priest is now out of the faction. You could argue that, Finn Balor is stuck in this faction, and, he really doesn't have much else going on for him, aside from...
I see Finn Balor and JD McDonough win the fucking goddamn tag team titles one more time, I'm going to fucking lose it.
Well, I'm not going to say it, but anyway...
I already know. I was watching it before we started this. I'm very aware, and that's why I said it.
Where the fuck is Finn Balor's push, Triple H? Where is it?
Oh, yeah, his tag team title push is doing fucking wonderful right now.
Jesus, hold on. Here, let me look. Like, because apparently I missed a spot here. Like, I mean, no, I'm not seeing Finn Balor's push behind my couch or anything. Like, I'm looking under the table. Like, it's non-existent.
I said it once and I'll say
I've yet
it
to
again.
see it.
You can find Finn Balor's push the same place you can find Mr. Anderson's world title shot. Probably lodged in the rectum of Hulk Hogan.
So anyway, the finish of this match, it goes about 14 minutes, but this finish reminded me of one of my favorite matches ever, Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon at King of the Ring 2001, where Angle, no, it's not debatable. It's the exact same finish. Angle hits an avalanche angle slam off a board that was bridged on the top rope because these guys had put themselves through hell and back in the match, so they couldn't balance worth a damn. And the
probably one of the most devastating fucking angle slams I've ever seen in my life.
So much so that Shane McMahon blacked out from the impact.
If you have not seen it, go back and watch it. It is one of the most damnedest finishes to a match I've ever seen.
It's one of the damnedest matches I've ever seen.
And this was after Shane McMahon landed on his fucking head on concrete because Angle belly to bellied him through the wrong pane of glass. Go back and listen to Kurt Angle's podcast about it. He explains it thoroughly. How after that spot, Angle was like, "Okay, fuck it, we're not doing this." And Shane said, "No, suplex me through that fucking glass." And he had to do it 3 or 4 times before the thing actually broke.
Well, TJ and I have also reviewed this match before on this very podcast, so you can go back and listen to it. So, in any case, Ripley hits an avalanche riptide off the top table. I'm not going to say the top rope, the top table. And she pins Raquel. No doubt in my mind that Rhea was winning this, especially now that she's challenging Io Sky at Evolution for the Women's World title. Ripley needed a big win going into it.
Scary spot because, okay, let's put this thing in perspective. You want to talk about Angle and Shane? Angle and Shane were using an actual piece of thick, not even plywood, like a thick platform of wood. So they were a lot more stable up there. Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley, who are two, Haas of women, are using a rickety, not stable table on the top rope to try and execute this move. And as they were setting up, I put my face in my hands and go like, the table's going to break, the table's going to break, the table's going to break. Thank God it didn't. I was like, both of these ladies are going to eat shit.
But thankfully they didn't. And Ripley gets the Duke. I'm going to go 3.5 stars on this. It was fun. I thought it was a fun street fight. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think one of their better encounters that they've had, and these two have wrestled each other quite a bit.
They over-delivered.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely over-delivered with this match. And I think that was my favorite part about this pay-per-view, the over-deliverance on matches that I didn't think were going to mean much.
Yeah, including this next match, huh?
Guys, it finally happened. This is not a drill. Steve Carell in the office. Guys, it's happening. This is happening. Karrion Kross is on pay-per-view.
TikTok. He's fine for the first time in 3 years.
First time in a one-on-one match in 3 years.
Don't forget,
he was on WrestleMania 40.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that freaking Philadelphia street fight against the Hurt Syndicate, right?
Lashley and the Street Profits, yeah.
It's the Hurt Syndicate before the Hurt Syndicate went to AEW, right? The Pride. Would you be intimidated by a group that called themselves the Pride?
No, because they were never officially called that.
They should have, because it's a good name. But yeah, Karrion Kross for the first time in one-on-one action since another Riyadh pay-per-view, Crown Jewel 2022. Karrion Kross is in a one-on-one pay-per-view singles match. The last time he loses to Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match because Drew McIntyre walked out of the steel cage. He won via escape, which I'm sure had Jesse Ventura seething somewhere. But yeah, here he is, pretty much blowing off a feud that's been going on for quite a bit on Raw. Because he's been fucking around with Sami Zayn for months now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, remember when we were supposed to get this match at WrestleMania and people bitched about it? And I'm like, why are we bitching about this? Like, I would have loved to see this match at WrestleMania. I think it would have been a, but no, you know what we got instead? Sami Zayn not on the pay-per-view whatsoever, and Karrion Kross getting involved in a match that they have not followed up on since.
Nope. Nope, because AJ Styles has Intercontinental Championships to gain, I guess.
But yeah, Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. So this match basically came up as, like you said, Karrion is the ultimate. He's the drama setter. He likes to stir the pot, and what he does basically,
he's an instigator.
Yeah, he'll creep in the shadows in the backstage areas of Monday Night Raw, and when he sees somebody he wants to fuck with, he will just go right up to him and be like, let's say Sami Zayn was feuding with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens just said, you used to be my best friend, but now you're a former shell of what you used to be. Karrion Kross will go up to him and be like, he's right.
Yeah.
Or if there's a valiant babyface trying to fight the odds, Karrion Kross will go up to me like, you should just give up. You should be an asshole. You should fucking cheat. And just like insert himself into situations that he doesn't belong in. He's the guy, he was the kid at school that would start the playground rumors. He's the guy that would start a rumor about your best friend that he has a tail because he wouldn't give him his fruit cup at lunchtime.
He's the devil you know.
Yeah.
The devil you know.
It's such a fucking cool character, and it's garnered Karrion Kross so much momentum since WrestleMania. And I don't know what WWE's plans are with him, but you know what? I've been a Karrion Kross defender since day one. I want to see what else they can do with this guy. Down to the subtle little details of he wears his hair the same way with the people he's feuding with. Look at when he's talking to Sami Zayn, it's curled and he has it tied up. When he's talking to AJ Styles, it's straightened and it's down. It's the tiny little details that I love that Karrion Kross puts into his performance.
And when he's talking to Jey Uso, he buzzes off the sides of it and he just has the little stupid mullet gimmick going on. And then magically, when he talks to Sami Zayn the next week, the hair grows back. Right?
And when he feuds with Ricochet, he's bald.
Fucking no. Yes, I mean, Ricochet's the only one he can be bald with. Ricochet is the only bald wrestler in history,
Man, I would hate to see if Karrion Kross ever feuded with The Rock.
I know, or with Kurt Angle, or with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Damn, we're really putting Karrion Kross up on that pedestal, aren't we?
I know, right? Yeah, no, Stone Cold Steve Austin was never bald, so, he would just do the little stupid stunning Steve Austin gimmick going on.
I'm a Karrion Kross mark, so let's get on and say, I love his fucking entrance.
Yeah. Everybody will. Yeah,
it's one of the most detailed entrances in WWE.
It is goated. Thank God he has the Fall and Pray theme back after the Final Testament is no more. Because that Final Testament theme, you don't even know it's Karrion Kross coming out. Sami Zayn comes out wearing the Arabic headdress, Palestinian-inspired tights, chills as the crowd sings him to the ring. These two had a good match. It was solid.
The only thing I'm going to say about it that kind of bogs it down is this is one of those matches where it did not matter who won and it did not matter who lost. People were going to be upset. Because if they gave Karrion Kross the big win on pay-per-view, people would have been saying, Sami Zayn's buried. He's not a main eventer anymore. Why is he jobbing to Karrion Kross? Yada, 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 yada. What are we doing here? But if Sami Zayn beat Karrion Kross, see, they're not taking Karrion Kross seriously. He's a jobber. Why? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, can we just be happy that Karrion Kross is on pay-per-view, please?
I am. Especially him kicking out of the Blue Thunder Bomb, which everybody kicks out of.
Everybody kicks out of a DDT, too.
I've kicked out of the Blue Thunder Bomb, too. Did you know that?
Cody Rhodes kicked out of 2 RKOs.
Yeah. CM Punk kicked out of 3 attitude adjustments, as we'll talk about. Karrion Kross actually looks pretty dominant in defeat. He took maybe about 85% of this match, and he was constantly getting in Sami's face, telling him to say that Karrion Kross told the truth. And he keeps going for those big clotheslines in the corner, those big brutish running clotheslines. And then
And Karrion Kross had Sami Zayn on the ropes a couple of times. He locked in the cross jacket a couple of times. Props to Sami Zayn for selling the cross jacket like it was a legitimate threatening submission hold you need to avoid. Because that's what every wrestler should aspire to do if your submission hold is that fearsome. Sami Zayn made the cross jacket look like the coquina clutch.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, the minute you're locked in that thing, it's game over for you.
But logically speaking, why does Sami Zayn get the 3 arm drops and Jey Uso losing the World Heavyweight title only got the 1 arm check?
Or just, when the referee, like, taps the arm, just like are you dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking dead.
Are you dead? How come you didn't do the 3 arm drops for Jey Uso, huh?
Yeah, it's a very annoying inconsistency that just got brought to light.
Man, referee, you were very quick to take that World Heavyweight title off of Jey Uso and back onto Gunther, huh?
Yeah, he was. He was.
A blasphemy.
So I love the finish to this match. Like you're saying, Karrion Kross
Did you know?
Sami Zayn. I did. I love the finish to this match. So Karrion Kross is hitting those corner clotheslines. And as he backs up for another one, Sami Zayn beats him to the punch and boom, hits him with one hell of a kick. Down goes Kross. 1, 2, 3. Zayn picks up the win in Saudi Arabia.
But that was like so out of nowhere. Like he hits him with one finishing maneuver and that's it.
You mean to tell me?
After Karrion Kross beat the shit out of him for most of the match?
The finishing move finished the match?
At least, yeah, it was the Haluva kick. Yeah, no, at least it was the Haluva kick. But
what a fucking concept.
Yeah. And Sami Zayn gets a big win on pay-per-view. Who would have thunk it? 3 1/4.
I understand where you're coming from with the kind of the lightning fast ending, but it's kind of like the Haluva kick is starting to become one of those moves that Sami Zayn can't hit out of nowhere. Indeed. He doesn't have to set him up in the corner and hit him with it. He can just that's why I love the camera work of this finish. You just thought Karrion Kross was going to hit another corner clothesline.
Sami hit him.
Like Sami Zayn, they showed the replay, and he was on Karrion Kross's tail. Dude.
And he hit him square in the face, too. That looked devastating. Like, Karrion Kross took it right on the fucking nose, and he drops like a ton of bricks, and Sami wins. Solid enough match. It gives Sami another big win in Saudi Arabia, which brings me to my next thing. The Royal Rumble in 2026 is in Saudi Arabia, and Sami Zayn winning the Royal Rumble match is the only validating reason I will take for the Royal Rumble being in Saudi Arabia. There is no other fucking winner you can put that would make me happy.
Right now, as we speak, I agree. There is nobody else to win this Royal Rumble.
No. If anybody else wins the Royal Rumble, there is no reason to have the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. All due respect, there is no fucking reason to have the Royal Rumble there.
You put the story of Sami Zayn winning a world championship on the back burner 2 years ago. You better have a follow-up for it, because you're going to make Sami Zayn look like the biggest goof on planet Earth. He voluntarily stepped away from the world championship picture because he realized he could not beat Drew McIntyre. And if you never follow up with that, you make him look like Sheamus. Because remember what I said? If Sheamus did not beat Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, then Sheamus looks like the biggest dork on planet Earth. Well, guess who's the biggest dork on planet Earth now?
Sheamus. He was nowhere to be found on the WrestleMania card, was he?
No.
Oh, man. God hopes that he can only come to his senses and kick Dom's teeth down his throat and win the title.
And with that being said, I think this was an excellent platform for Karrion Kross. I hope they continue with this momentum. And from what I want is for them to run this back either at Saturday night's main event or a main event episode of Raw. Karrion Kross needs to get his win back.
Yeah, maybe even with a stipulation. Who knows? Who knows with this? But sky's the limit for Karrion Kross. Sami Zayn, looking forward to seeing what he does winning the Royal Rumble in Riyadh next year. But yeah, up next, we shift gears. What a fucking concept. A title match on Night of Champions, Tomas. It is for the United States Championship. The Samoan Werewolf Jacob Fatu going one-on-one with his former running buddy, Solo Sikoa, who is the most entertaining he has ever fucking been since he's come up to the main roster. How did it take this long for WWE to figure out that when you let Solo Sikoa be himself, it's so fucking entertaining.
You know what I think it is now? Now that we talk about it out loud, the pressure is off of him now.
Yeah.
The pressure is off of Solo Sikoa to be this big, huge, intimidating, main event, threatening world championship contender, bad guy. And I think the pressure got to him and he under-delivered. Now that he's in a position on the mid-card where he has the freedom to do this kind of stuff, he's not the new tribal chief anymore.
No.
Now that pressure is off, he can finally show what he can do. And I've always been a Solo Sikoa defender. So to see him in a light where he can actually shine, I love to see it.
But yet, he's still introducing new Bloodline members, including Jeff Cobb, who's not even a Bloodline member. He's just a new heater.
The arrival of JC Mateo is another perfect example of you don't want to run the risk of just putting JC Mateo on a babyface, squashing Jobber's route with no plans in mind for him. Sticking him in this stable is going to give him a lot more exposure.
He is Solo Sikoa's new Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Because Jacob Fatu has gotten way too over as a babyface for WWE to not pull the trigger on a babyface turn, as we saw at Money in the Bank. And now it's kind of culminated with this.
And you know what? Just when you think you're done killing the bloodline, you kill 2 members, 3 more appear.
Jeez, dude. Like, is this fucking storyline ever going to end? Is it ever going to end?
No. But at least it's in a spot where it's not dominating the main event scene anymore.
You're right. But then it runs the risk of looking like the diet version of what it used to be.
Yeah,
right?
But is that a bad thing at the end of the day? Do you really want Roman Reigns being a champion for 10 years, still having bloodline interference every single pay-per-view?
No, that would have gotten too boring. But I will tell you this much. I thought the bloodline shit was jumping the shark 2 years ago when Roman defended against Jey Uso at SummerSlam. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there like, it's fucking, like, if you told Zach 2 years ago that we would have not only one new bloodline, but 2 new bloodlines, I'd be like, what?
Also, a good point that I saw get brought up was this gives something for Jimmy Uso to do.
Big Jim.
Love me some
something
Big
to do.
Jim. It sucks that he's been put such on the back burner because his twin brother is more over than him. But I love me some Big Jim. I love Jimmy Uso. I love No Yeet. He's a king. Give him something to do. And this is the perfect thing for him to do.
Yeah. So you think he's going to take the title off of his little baby brother?
No, I wouldn't go that far. But whatever gets Big Jim on TV, I'm all for it.
Well, I mean, anything that'll, put Jacob Fatu into the main event. Like, because the mid-card titles in WWE, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, they are the stepping stones now to that next level. LA Knight appears to be in a solid upper mid-card, kissing the main event level with his feud with Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker is now a running buddy of Seth Rollins, a former Intercontinental Champion. And Jacob Fatu, spoiler alert, surprisingly loses the United States Championship in this match. But
you know what? I'm not going to say surprisingly. I'm going to say it was a bold move to put the title on Solo Sikoa.
Which I'm all for. I'm all for. Because what have we been saying about WWE this entire year so far since the Chamber? We have been waiting for WWE to make bold moves.
Yes.
I mean, other than, like, oddly enough, Dominic Mysterio winning the Intercontinental title. That was a bold move. And it's paying off.
And I think there's just been this, negative aura around Solo Sikoa ever since the new Bloodline stuff that I think people need to take a step back and go, he's in the position he needs to be in now. So putting the United States Championship on him can only benefit him. And now if they would have put the WWE title on him, I'd be with everyone. Be like, okay, what are we doing here? But it's the United States Championship.
Yeah.
It's harmless.
I think I figured it out. When you put Solo Sikoa, when you cast him as the second coming of Taz, it sort of works for a little bit, but you can tell that he's not really comfortable with it. If you put Jeff Cobb as the second coming of Taz, like, he fucking looks it. He's so much bigger than Taz. This guy's a fridge. He will, like, squish you like a bug. Like,
damn right.
It's, I think
What did Wade Barrett say about him when he debuted? This guy is just a mountain of mass.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He's a freaking giant. I mean, not a giant compared to somebody else who we'll be talking about, but these Fatu and Sikoa, I think, for their first match together was fun. I liked Solo Sikoa doing the boogeyman dance, mocking Jacob Fatu. Why does Jacob Fatu even do the boogeyman jiggle?
Again, like you said, you let Solo Sikoa have personality, and this is the most entertaining he's been probably since the OG Bloodline days.
I gotta look in the Bay Area wrestling scene archives, the indie scene. I know Big Fonz had a match with the Boogeyman at one point that did not go very long. Boogeyman beat him in like under 5 minutes. Did Jacob Fatu ever wrestle the Boogeyman?
Let me guess. We need to sign Big Fonz.
Yes! I miss Big Fonz. I miss that guy. You know, but anyway, so Jacob Fatu is getting the upper hand. He's about to do his Bam Bam Bigelow style moonsault on Solo. But what happens next is a hooded figure comes out, and the story of this match, the big return that we were all waiting for, Tanga Loa. He's back, Tomas.
And you know what?
We got him.
We all know that Tanga Loa is one of the wrestlers of all time. He got a genuine pop from the crowd.
Yeah.
The fans were genuinely happy to see him. And you know why? Because I think we have successfully memed Tanga Loa so hard that I unironically like him now.
Well, did you know that Tanga Loa has more Royal Rumble wins than CM Punk does?
Damn right he does. And until this year, Tanga Loa had the same amount of WrestleMania main events that CM Punk did.
Did you know that Tanga Loa also has more Royal Rumble wins than Chris Jericho?
Yeah, the same amount, actually. Did you know that Tanga Loa has the same amount of Money in the Bank wins as Sami Zayn?
Oh, God. Did you know he has the same amount of Money in the Bank wins as Kevin Owens?
He also won the same amount of world championships that Sami Zayn has.
Did you know he also has won the same amount of world championships as Matt Hardy?
Tanga Loa is 17 world titles away from tying John Cena's all-time record.
Tanga Loa is going to be the... You know what John Cena said? He's going to break the record of 17 so that he can shake the hand of the man who eventually hits 18. Well, that man's going to be Tanga Loa.
Tanga Loa really is one of the wrestlers of all time.
Yes. So he interferes, and Solo Sikoa hits the Samoan Spike, and that's it. He wins the United States Championship. Nothing else happens. Tanga Loa did it all. You know,
Tanga Loa was a fucking beast, man. You can't beat him.
Just kidding. Jacob Fatu kicks out, of course. So the cavalry has to come out. Jeff Cobb makes his way out to the ringside. Because I'm not refusing to call him JC Mateo. I'm just used to calling him Jeff Cobb. So it's weird to me. It is weird to me.
I don't hate the name JC Mateo.
I don't either.
It's that when you personally know somebody for as long as you have, it just feels weird. Like, I'm going to call him JC Mateo, but it's just like, it feels very weird.
Yeah. You don't say. I can't fathom how you're feeling right now. But Jacob Fatu, humongous suicide dive onto Jeff Cobb and to Tanga Loa. It's like a freaking tornado is hitting this arena, and this crowd, this crowd loves them a bit of Jacob Fatu. And we were saying it when he debuted last year, right? This guy was going to make WWE a lot of money. And this guy
he's on his way to being probably one of the most over Samoan babyfaces of all time.
What did we tell you guys? You have no fucking idea what's coming to you. And whatever's coming is going to be fucking glorious. And Jacob Fatu is that.
Unfortunately, it's like what they always say. In order to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. We had to break a few eggs with Jacob Fatu here. It looks like he's on his way to retaining the championship. The referee, for some reason, gets distracted by JC Mateo. And then another hooded figure comes down to attack Fatu.
Giant.
Yes, it's the debuting Hikuleo. Remember what I said? You kill 2 members of the bloodline and 3 more replace them.
Fucking finally.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. So, like, this guy has been rumored to make his debut for the bloodline for years now. Like,
Hikuleo has been signed to a WWE contract since Stone Cold Steve Austin won the King of the Ring. And it's crazy that it took them almost 20 years to debut this guy. Yeah, like Hikuleo, who's been...
I really hope you're joking. I really hope you're joking.
Well, I mean, they've been teasing the breakup between A-Town Down Under since the Ronald Reagan administration.
Yeah, just like they've been teasing Sami Zayn winning a world title since Abe Lincoln was in office.
Yeah, man,
right?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Hikuleo is finally here. He chokeslams Jacob Fatu on the announce table, and can you believe how much Hikuleo just dwarfs over Jacob Fatu?
Dude.
And Fatu is a big dude.
Fatu, you know what it reminded me of? And you're going to think I'm crazy for making this comparison. And I'm not saying Hikuleo is as bad as this person, but it reminded me of when the Great Khali made his debut. Because who was the first person the Great Khali went after? The
Undertaker.
Fucking Undertaker. Exactly. And Undertaker looks like a cruiserweight next to Turley. So it's... You know, it was giving me those vibes, and Jacob Fatu is starting to look like an underdog babyface. I never thought that Jacob Fatu would be an underdog babyface up against Hikuleo, but...
Let's address the elephant in the room. We keep saying Hikuleo, but they never refer to him as that. They refer to him as, I know who this guy is. He's been running roughshod in Japan for years now. Now he's in WWE. From what I've been hearing, okay, so that just confirmed he's getting the name change. Whatever. It's inconsistent how WWE handles this, but whatever. Word on the street is WWE trademarked the name Talatanga.
Yep.
For Hikuleo.
Yeah.
So we have Tamatanga, Tongaloa, and now Talatanga. Is that enough T's to go around? WWE sure loves their alliteration.
Well, they're all Tongans. They're all the kids of Haku, right? Right? They're the kids of Haku.
So we have Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Talatanga, Tamatanga, Tongaloa, and I just heard that WWE trademarked for the name Haktua.
Haktua?
Yeah, Haktua.
Oh,
the
God.
newest member of the Bloodlines.
Jeez. Oh, is that going to be the Iron Cheeks kid?
Yeah, it's Haktua. It's also the kid of that girl from the internet. Yeah, I don't know if she's still relevant or not.
Yeah, but anyway... Solo Sikoa is the new United States champion. And you know what? I am not bothered that Jacob Fatu lost the title after only a 70-day reign. And you want to know why? Number one, not every fucking title reign needs to be a Roman Reigns 5-year dominant reign. Not every single title reign needs to break records. Okay? I'm just going to put that to bed. And number two, it took 4 guys to take this guy down. 4! So Jacob Fatu looks very strong in defeat.
And number 3, Jacob Fatu has now been released of the chains, and now he can do something like, I don't know, challenge for the WWE Championship.
Yeah. But do you really think his business with the Bloodline is done?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm just saying his time with the United States title is over. Let's catapult him to the next level. And I think Solo Sikoa definitely benefits from having the United States Championship, because you know what? If Fatu would have just straight up won this match, then what do you do with this new group of Bloodline guys? What do you do with Solo Sikoa? What do you do with the Tongans? What do you do with JP Mateo?
They're
a bunch of fucking losers.
They're just jokes.
Yeah.
You know? So
you know what you do? You put Solo Sikoa in the same exact position he was in last year. Challenging Cody Rhodes for the WWE title, having underwhelming matches, losing all the time, Roman Reigns kicking the fucking dog shit out of him. You know what I was saying when Roman Reigns returned? What is stopping Roman Reigns from squashing this dude like a fucking bug? They were, for a lack of a better term, stalling until it was a good opportunity to take the fucking, what did the LA Knight call it? The necklace.
The falafel.
Yeah. The Afalufa. To take that thing off of him and put it back on Roman Reigns. So, you know what? Say what you want about Solo Sikoa, but do you really want to see a talent buried like that?
No, I really don't. Because Solo Sikoa is too entertaining for his own good. And if he can continue on that trajectory, if WWE keeps letting him be himself, like, I think we're in for a very entertaining ride with him holding this title. That being said, this match was fun. I wouldn't say it was a great match. I'm going to go 3 stars. They got 12 minutes. Again, Solo Sikoa takes the title by any means necessary, which means if he's going to send 4 mercenaries out there to tackle the Samoan werewolf, like, that's what he's going to do. You know? He can't beat Jacob Fatu by himself. So
it protects Fatu. Honestly, there was no other way for this storyline. If you want the storyline to continue, at least, this is how it goes. Exactly. Now we can see Jacob Fatu versus JC Mateo. That's a hot fight I want to see. Now we can see Jacob Fatu versus the aforementioned, if this is going to be his name, Tala Tonga. Like, there's a little more meat to the story.
There is. I don't know how much fucking longer you can go with this bloodline angle, but hey, you know what? If they can, I mean, hey, anything is possible in wrestling, right?
Like Paul Heyman said, we're only in the bottom of the 3rd right now.
We were in the bottom of the 3rd fucking 3 years ago, man.
You're right. We're in the bottom of the 4th now.
Jeez Louise, man. What's next? Zilla Fatu comes in? Umaga's kid?
Yes. That is absolutely what happens. You kill 2 members of the bloodline, 3 more replace them.
Yeah, so JC Mateo is going to end up beating Solo for the U.S. title, and then Solo's going to regain it with the help of Umaga's kid. Yeah, I'm calling it. I am calling it. Tomas said it. I'm good at predicting weird shit. So
Jacob's little brother Zilla needs to come into the company.
It's Jacob Fatu is not Umaga's kid though.
Yeah, I'm just saying that because they have the same last name. Boy, we're reaching the low point of this show. In the finals of the women's, in the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament.
Yes.
You remember what I said earlier, that I said this was Stephanie Vaquer's tournament to win? Well, there ain't no Stephanie Vaquer in this match. Instead, we have Jade Cargill against the returning Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. And the way this story was being told, this was Asuka's big return. She has not wrestled for 13 months after being injured. She's back. She has her old theme music back. She's still extremely over with the crowd. This is like a rebirth for Asuka since Damage Control is over. It's a rebirth for Kairi Sane too. It looks like WWE is focusing on what made these ladies great in the first place. And I just felt like this was Asuka's tournament to win, because don't sit there and tell me you don't want to see Asuka versus Io Sky for the Women's World Championship. Inject that match into my veins.
I think we're still going to get it. The easiest way to have gotten there is to have Asuka win this match, but clearly that wasn't in WWE's plan.
Man, I totally forgot I was going to go with that. I'm just so disappointed with how this ended up going. So for what, 2 years now?
Yep.
2 years now with Jade Cargill, I have done my best to defend Jade Cargill.
To be fair, and we have been.
She was a pretty big deal in AEW. She was basically booked as the female Goldberg. What a 100 and something match winning streak, holding the TBS title for over 500 days. She was the hot commodity in AEW when it came to the women's division. So you know what? WWE scooping in and signing her to a contract was a no-brainer. But when they brought her into WWE, they brought her in with a bunch of fanfare, the glitz, the glamour, a lot of star power for sure. But when it came down to the brass tacks, we all had to ask ourselves, Jade Cargill was the female Goldberg. What's going to happen when you put her in the ring with the Bianca Belair? What's going to happen when you put her in the ring with the Charlotte Flair? What's going to happen when you put her in the ring with the Rhea Ripley, with the Becky Lynch, with the Natalia, with the Tiffany Stratton? Is she going to sink or is she going to swim?
With a Naomi.
Yeah, so
with an Asuka.
She has been very, very, very protected in the tag team division. And I was all for it. You put her with the veteran like Bianca Belair. They had excellent chemistry. But when it's time to take the floaties off, when it's time to, let go of her hand and push her into the deep end, is she going to sink or is she going to swim? Right now, she's struggling. She is absolutely struggling.
The
and
nice,
I only defended so much.
the nicest thing I can say about this match, Asuka tried. Asuka tried. Like, I'm not gonna say that Jade Cargill was the drizzling shits in this match.
No,
I'm not.
No.
She was fine at best.
There were two points I want to make with Jade Cargill. Number one, how do you train with Bryan Danielson and not get something from it? And number two, she 100% should have went to NXT. Being under the tutelage of Shawn Michaels would have did her wonders.
Yeah, maybe a dominant reign as the NXT Women's Champion would have done magic for her WWE stock. Look at what it's done for Roxanne Perez. Look what it's done briefly for Stephanie Vaquer. Look what it's about to do for Jordynne Grace.
Look what it's did for Julia. Julia is the brand new Women's United States Champion, and that was 100% the route they needed to go with her. Julia to that United States title is what Lyra Valkyria was to the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
And, you know, people like to complain that, like, why is Ethan Page in NXT? Why is Ricky Saints in NXT? Why is Jordynne Grace in NXT?
Why is Blake Monroe in NXT? Why is Mariah May getting a name change? I don't give a fuck about her name change.
You know, it's like, what's wrong with getting a little more training? What's wrong with getting tutelage from the greatest wrestlers and the greatest wrestling minds of all time in a high, you know, state-of-the-art performance center with guys like, you know, Albert, with Shawn Michaels, with Norman Smiley, with Sarah Del Rey, with the best, William Regal, the best trainers and brains that professional wrestling could ask for. Like, you know, it's a privilege to be in a system like NXT. And I think Jade Cargill could have benefited so much from a run in NXT. But now here she is, and I'm starting to get a little irritated because by the end of this match, I threw my hands up and I said, you got to be fucking kidding me. This was not Jade Cargill's match to win.
And her versus Tiffany Stratton is not an interesting match to me. I'm sorry.
It's
all due
only
respect.
Interesting with the looming Naomi with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, and you can see that shit clear as day. Like, and I will be even more upset if it ends up being Jade Cargill pinning Tiffany Stratton to get there. Like, that should absolutely not happen.
And you know what another thing about Jade Cargill is? She is Triple H's pet project. And you know, history has shown Triple H doesn't like admitting when his pet projects failed. You know who else was a pet project of Triple H? Sin Cara.
Yeah.
And Triple H refused to admit defeat when it came to Sin Cara.
Yeah.
You know who else was a pet project of Triple H? Curtis Axel. And he refused to admit defeat when it came to Curtis Axel.
Well, because he refused to really put Curtis Axel over in his first match. Like, you know, it's egregious.
So there's just a lot of I want Jade Cargill to be good.
How does one fuck up a pinfall?
Interesting you ask. Also,
how do you do that?
I'm going to be that guy. I'm not a fan of Asuka's new finisher.
No, you're not a fan of
Empress Impact.
No, yeah,
it's a running hip attack.
It's Naomi also has a running hip attack, and that's not a finisher.
And it's more impressive. The rear view.
Yeah. I bet it is.
I seriously want to know WWE's mindset when it comes to some of these finishers. For the love of God, the Rose Plant is one of the worst finishers of all time. I much prefer the Bailey to Bailey.
Yeah, well, Bailey can't use the Bailey to Belly anymore because the tube men are gone. Right?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because it was part of her gimmick. It was part of her gimmick.
But it's so fun to say, and it's, you know, I know it's just a belly-to-belly suplex, but if you can make it devastating enough.
Yeah, well, it's like the manhandle slam. It's just
I hate the split-legged moonsault.
So what?
RVD's the only one that did a good split-legged moonsault. And you know why he did a good split-legged moonsault? Because he didn't pull his opponent so damn close to the turnbuckle that it didn't connect at all.
Yeah.
Look at you, John Morrison.
So Jade Cargill ends up hitting her finisher, and she loses grip of the leg of Asuka while she's pinning her. She's the queen of the ring. Yeehaw. I don't care.
It would have been much interesting to see Asuka's Odyssey. That's what it felt like in this match. And to see her go one-on-one with her former leader in Damage Control would have been so fucking cool. I mean, we can still get there, but this was just like, you want to talk about just, the textbook way? This should have been the textbook way. You can get to Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Jade Cargill not straight up go up to Tiffany Stratton to SmackDown after Mania and say, give me a title match? And they had a fucking title match right then and there?
Yeah! And it's not an interesting match.
And you know what? I kind of understand Triple H wanting Jade Cargill with the Queen of the Ring for the image alone. But Asuka broke her fucking back carrying this match. She broke her back so bad that I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't wrestle for another year.
Yeah, Asuka's been breaking her back carrying a good chunk of this women's division for a while, especially since COVID when nobody wanted to wrestle. Asuka was there alongside Mercedes Moné, who I will give credit to in this moment, alongside Bayley. I mean, it was those three. It was those three during the pandemic era. They were the Magic Three.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite sequences, SummerSlam, when Asuka had to face both Mercedes Moné and Bayley in championship matches. When Asuka had both titles, that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
How do we keep fumbling Asuka? Okay, I might be going a little overboard with that statement, but it's like Asuka's been in the WWE for 7 years now.
On the main roster.
On the main roster for 7 years now.
Yeah, she debuted in NXT this December. It will have been 10 years ago.
Crazy. This woman should be the pinnacle of the women's division.
Yeah. No, I remember when she was undefeated in NXT for a good chunk of time. And that undefeated streak carried over with her being called up to the main roster. She was never beaten for the NXT women's title.
And she ran into a brick wall named Charlotte.
Which, fuck that noise. In hindsight, that was such a shitty decision. But
now I know
but fuck it ever.
I should have a little more faith in WWE. I know we're probably going to get to Asuka and Io Sky at SummerSlam. For the love of God, don't make it a triple threat and throw Rhea Ripley in there.
You know they will. You know they will.
SummerSlam is kind of the goated destination for epic women's triple threat matches. We already got a banger triple threat match at WrestleMania. I want to see Asuka versus Io Sky one-on-one. Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill, I'm terrified. If Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair stunk up the joint at WrestleMania, I'm kind of scared of what Cargill and Stratton are going to do at SummerSlam.
Well, to be fair, that was not Tiffany Stratton's fault. So I am optimistic that Tiffany Stratton will at least try her best to get a good match out of Jade, but I'm not holding my breath.
Asuka can't do it. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. I'm going to give this match 2.5 stars. This was really nothing to write home about.
Yeah, I'm going to go, dude, you were generous. I went 2.25.
The crazy thing is, I don't even remember a lot from the match. I just remember being very fucking upset at the finish.
Yeah, and I just remember being upset that Jade. How do you fuck up a pinfall? How do you fuck up hooking? How do you fuck up hooking the leg?
This is the second year in a row the pin to a finals match has been botched. And if WWE isn't going to address it, then don't fucking address it. Do that weird thing where you pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. Or just have Asuka jump to SmackDown for a little bit once Jade wins the title, right?
You know damn well they won't. And then people will say, like, they should run it back and, give them the decisive win. I'm like, they're not going to fucking do that. You know how silly that would be?
It'd be, I'm not gonna discount it, that's for sure. Especially if we're not gonna have Naomi cash in right away.
Well, if they didn't do Randy Orton and Gunta again, I highly doubt they're gonna do Cargill and Asuka again.
We'll see. We'll see again. I've seen stranger things happen. Like this main event, which is a match I never thought I would see again. A match I was very excited to see again. A match whose build has history written all over it. And the match whose build was fucking incredible. It is for the undisputed WWE Championship, TJ. It's John Cena defending against one CM Punk. But wait a minute.
How do you think? Okay.
Wait a minute, you might ask. CM Punk working a Saudi Arabia pay-per-view? How the fuck is that possible? Especially after...
CM Punk never said he hated Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's called CM Punk told The Miz to go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia or something, and then yeah, and then he immediately turns around and he's like, "I never said I hated Saudi Arabia, but I will." He didn't. But I will say the build that like how CM Punk got this match against John Cena was very clever and kind of funny. I thought because John Cena was like, "I'll give you a title match, but only if you follow me to Saudi Arabia, which I know you don't want to do." And I'm like,
You know what?
Geez.
For those who don't think that John Cena isn't great at being a prick, that just proved everything wrong.
I fucking love John Cena. And like, I will say, again, a lot of this heel turn, aside from the initial shock of it, and aside from the pipe bomb that he cut, a lot of people will say that this heel turn wasn't hitting the way they would have wanted to. And I feel like a good chunk of that is because the expectations were so increasingly through the roof. They were
like,
so high.
These motherfuckers wanted John Cena out there fucking spitting on kids and kicking puppies and shit.
Do I get this? Do I get that? You get nothing! I mean...
It really goes without saying, though, that CM Punk and John Cena really bring the best out in each other.
They do.
This build, too. The promos were great.
Yes, because the build... John Cena cut a 10-minute pipe bomb while he's sitting on the top turnbuckle, while CM Punk just takes a nap through a table that was just broken.
You know what? That was such a fun parody. That's what it was. It was a parody.
It was fucking awesome. It was fucking awesome.
Wanted it like to be more. I was like, guys, it was a parody. John Cena was mocking CM Punk, and he did a damn good job of doing it.
Hi, Claudio Castagnoli. How you doing?
Hi, Nick Nemeth. Hi, Matt Cardona. Great shit.
Yes, and then the next week on SmackDown, CM Punk makes his way to the ring to Basic Thugonomics after John Cena cuts a very basic heel John Cena promo. No pun intended. Basic Thugonomics starts hitting, and Cena with his goofy ass face just looks, what? The dramatic look gopher of the entrance. Right? That's how I used to dress up. And you have brass knuckles that say drug free. That's what you are. No way.
Oh, trust me. The oblivious John Cena joke is coming back in this match, and you're going to love it. So, picture this, Zach. I'm having a great day. I just get out of school. My grandpa takes me home. I bust out a Lunchable and a fruit by the foot, and, I have my Nintendo DS next to me with Pokemon Diamond fired up on it. I'm ready to have a great day. I flip on the TV, and I'm ready for John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Wait a minute. I'm 30 years old. I'm turning 31 next week. I look at the TV, and John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship. Holy shit, this match. The nostalgia hit hard with this match. I felt like I was a junior in high school all over again watching these two go at it.
I felt like I was a freshman in high school watching these two go at it. So, by the way, I should talk about my favorite line of the CM Punk rap before, because CM Punk did rap in this promo, and he did pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And John Cena just all took it on the chin. He's like, that's why he's the champ, and he went and lost all his respects. But hey, John, I get it. I'd retire too if they rehired my ex. And I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, of course, alluding to the fact that Nikki Bella is now full-time again on the roster. And he...
Even though we've yet to see her in the past couple of weeks.
Probably because probably because she cut a promo with Liv Morgan, who then proceeded to get injured.
Yeah. But man, I'm fresh out of school. I go to rehearsal for High School Musical, and then right afterward, I bust out my homework. I sit down and I see John Cena. Wait a minute, I'm turning 31 next week. Dude, it's like you blink and your whole life passes you by.
Yeah, you and me both, man. We're all in this together, though. We really are.
How about you kiss my ass?
This match was a lot of fun. It really was.
This match was a lot of fun.
It was a treat, and to your point, Cena and Punk really do bring out the best in each other. This was my favorite John Cena match of the retirement tour so far, at least one-on-one wise. these guys, I mean, the chemistry's still there. But to be fair, it is also 14 years after their masterpiece at Money in the Bank 2011. John Cena's 14 years older. And I don't.
Excuse me. I want to talk about the holy trinity of John Cena CM Punk matches: Money in the Bank 2011, Night of Champions 2012, and Monday Night Raw in 2013, where the winner faced The Rock at WrestleMania.
Night of Champions 2012 is a very underrated match. I forget about that.
3 matches are masterpieces. Absolute masterpieces.
They're masterpieces. I mean, I remember the match on Raw, definitely, for sure. That was 2013's match of the year, and it was a TV match. How fucking sad is that?
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, 2011 kind of speaks for itself. Cena and Punk kind of blew everything else out of the water that year. And the Night of Champions match, again, it is so underrated. It's the match where infamously CM Punk rolled his ankle because Cena tried to put him in the Muda lock. No, Punk put him in the Muda lock and Cena got awkwardly rolled over his ankle. And again, we all only know that because of the podcast, but now I want to go back and watch that match and see exactly where Punk fucked up his ankle and then still continued to wrestle such an excellent match with Cena.
Oh, we will. We'll see it. We will definitely see it. But this is where the finisher spam kind of gets a little bit ridiculous, doesn't it? Cena gets hit with 1 GTS. He kicks out of it. Cena hits 3 attitude adjustments. CM Punk kicks out of all 3 of them. And I'm like, okay, the AA is the least protected finisher of all time. I'm convinced now.
It's such a useless finisher now.
It's so useless.
Cena's a heel, but goddamn, they have made his finisher so fucking useless now.
They should just bring back the STF. Just like at least CM Punk passed out in the STF at the Chamber.
Yeah. You want to talk about callbacks?
Yeah.
The excellent sequence of CM Punk doing a crossbody off the turnbuckle, Cena catching him, rolling backwards, and lifting him into an attitude adjustment. Again, yes. I felt like I was 16 years old again, chilling in the living room with my friend Jason while his mom brought us pizza pockets, just watching Cena and Punk.
How John Cena at 48 years old is still managing to accomplish that is beyond me. But again, it does bear repeating that John Cena in these one-on-one matches, he is fully dedicated to this retirement tour. And my thanks go out to John Cena for that. You can't help but notice that with these matches, he is playing it a little bit safe. Mainly because I feel like he is so into this retirement tour that he cannot afford to get injured. And he is learning a lesson from The Rock from 2013 when The Rock tore his adductor muscle off his pelvis at WrestleMania 29. And his agent got so fucking mad at him because it halted the filming of whatever the fuck movie he was in, whatever trash movie was coming out. Oh, yeah, that piece of shit. Yeah, I remember now. So,
and I think after The Rock did that, that's why he couldn't wrestle at WrestleMania 32 because his agent forced him to put a clause in his contract that he wouldn't get physical with WWE while he was filming movies.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, so I feel like Cena is kind of in the same boat here. And he can't really afford to get injured. He has, he's already done shooting season 2 of Peacemaker. That's coming out towards the end of the summer.
But in a recent interview, Cena said he is so dedicated to pro wrestling that if it cost him his Hollywood career, he doesn't fucking care. WWE always comes first to him. And you can't help but have respect for somebody like that.
All right. Yeah, no, I do have respect. I'm just saying that his matches aren't what they used to be. And I feel like
absolutely not. You also have to remember that Cena is nearing 50. He has no reason to do Hurricane Ranas and Code Reds and missile drop kicks and springboard stunners.
Why not?
It's kind of like he doesn't have to fuck up his body anymore. So why is he gonna?
Well, I mean,
I think that's why he's not wrestling guys like Carmelo Hayes and
Andrade or
Penta, even someone like Penta or Ray Fenix.
Yeah, as sad as that is, I mean, John Cena versus Penta is a weird ass match that I'd love to see. Ironically enough,
what did I say when Cena started his retirement tour? I wanted to see him versus Carmelo Hayes, and we're not going to get that shit.
No. I mean, I have an idea that like either Gunther or Braun Breaker should be the one to retire him, but who knows? Who knows at this point? So this match I thought was very, very good. Very good. Cena goes for his shoulder block thing, and he hits the referee, Rudy Charles. He takes a tumble to the outside, and immediately once that happens, the crowd gets up and starts looking towards the entrance because they know that something's going to happen. Like, because this is the John Cena 2025 WWE title match. There's going to be run-ins. Absolutely. Do you feel like the art of the run-in is kind of getting a little bit overplayed?
I wouldn't say so. I think it's been kind of a crutch WWE's been using, especially when they want to protect people. But before we get to the run-ins, John Cena goes for his new finisher, and that's a kick to the balls and a title shot. So Cena goes to retrieve the title, and he tries to pull the same shit he did with R-Truth at Saturday Night's main event.
Oh, this. Yes.
He looks at the crowd, he starts to have a change of heart, and he puts the title down.
This
and
is
he
important.
Doesn't want to use the title as a weapon. CM Punk immediately hits him with a go to sleep, and there's a kick out there. I think that was before the ref.
No. So Cena drops the title on the ground. So this is after, like, you know, the referee goes down, and Cena does the usual thing where he's like, oh, the ref's down. I can cheat.
Oh, believe it or not, that's not my oblivious Cena joke.
I'm gonna go get the title. You can't see me.
You're gonna fucking die when I say my oblivious John Cena joke.
I can't fucking wait. So Cena puts the belt down. What happens is CM Punk is the GTS while the ref is down, and CM Punk gets the visual pinfall. But CM Punk is looking around, and he pulls an oblivious John Cena facial thing, and he gets up and he's like, all right, come on down. He's asking for another referee. And immediately you hear Seth Rollins' theme song start playing. And CM Punk immediately gets down on all fours, and he is like, why couldn't it be Rhea Ripley interrupting this match? Why couldn't it be Rhea Ripley? Yeah, I would have loved that too. But Seth
Rollins and crew make their way down to the ring, and this is where the shenanigans begin. They start beating the shit out of CM Punk, beating the shit out of John Cena, and this is where things get a little like, you don't want John Cena to retain because he's an asshole, but at the same time, you don't want Seth Rollins to win the world title.
No.
Rollins tries to cash in the Money in the Bank after beating down CM Punk, and that's when John Cena gets up, looks at Rollins, and Rollins is like, what are you doing?
Hold on. Not after Seth looks to the entranceway. This does the same thing CM Punk did, calls for an official, and you get the deja vu from WrestleMania 24. Referee Charles Robinson comes sprinting down the aisleway, and at 60 years old, bam!
John Cena fucking takes this dude out.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the most heelish thing Cena's done this run? Knocking the fuck out of Charles Robinson.
He fucking hit him with a pounce. Period. Period.
Him.
Yeah.
And so Cena gets in the ring. He looks at Rollins, and Rollins is going, what are you doing? And Cena goes, no, I know what you're doing. You catch in that briefcase, you become part of the match, and you win the title. And I can't let that happen.
Was that it? Was that it?
Cena had to have a fucking moment of clarity, like, wait, if Rollins catches in briefcase, he becomes part of match. He can win, and I lose the title. And I can't allow that. But you know what's even funnier?
What's
WWE picked up on what Cena and Rollins were saying, and this is even funnier.
Yes.
Rollins looked at Cena and said, what are you doing? You were dead like 3 minutes ago.
And then Cena's like, I'm alive now. I'm alive.
You have briefcase. If you cash briefcase in, you become part of match, and you win the title. Not on my watch, bitch.
And Cena nails Seth Rollins with what seems like the most devastating attitude adjustment of all time. And a lot of that is because of Seth Rollins' selling. Like the lower back of Seth Rollins appeared to be turned into a slinky because of that attitude adjustment, with Seth screaming out in agony. And everybody else seems to have been selling the attitude adjustment like Cena was putting them down for a nice nap. That is how you make it. That is how you make the AA a devastating finisher again. Is how you sell it.
We're talking about the move that won Cena 17 world titles.
No, actually 16 world titles. He won his 17th by a dick kick and belt shot to the head of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but you know what I
Right?
mean. This is like downplaying the Rock Bottom or the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, exactly. So, Cena, no, wait, no, did the Penta run in happen after? Or,
I'm trying to figure out when that did because I know Breaker and Reed started getting involved. And I'm going to stop you right there and say this right now. Everybody and their fucking mothers. Why did Penta run in? That doesn't make any sense. Why is Penta here? Do you motherfuckers pay attention to Monday Night Raw? Penta has been beefing with Rollins' crew for the past couple of weeks. Yeah, you don't want Cena to retain the title, but Penta doesn't want Seth Rollins to win the championship.
no.
That is bad news for everybody on Monday Night Raw.
So
yes, it makes sense for Penta to run in.
I got some clarity. This whole Bloodline Rules nonsense happened after the AA on Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed then, storm the ring, and they start pouncing on John Cena. Bronson Reed starts choking him out, but then Penta's music starts playing, and I'm like, okay, fucking awesome. Penta's interfering in the main event. The funniest thing is Penta coming out to help John Cena, and Bronson Reed is fucking choking this guy on the floor, and Penta's doing the doing the slowest walk to the ring to help somebody I've ever seen in my life.
Because Penta has zero obligation to rush to the ring.
Then why was he helping him?
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Penta was there to help Cena. He was there to stop Rollins.
Yeah, I mean, debatable.
But at the same time, Braun Breaker runs up the ramp because that's his rival, and they start duking it out. Then Sami Zayn comes out, and it's like, Braun Breaker, you saw Sami Zayn coming from 300 miles away, and he still fucking got you.
Yeah, and Penta does like a freaking plancha off the thing, off the stage onto both Braun and Sami. And meanwhile, Bronson Reed is left by himself in the ring with John Cena. I was waiting for him to hit a tsunami on this man, but
you want John Cena to die?
I don't. I don't. But I was like, Bronson Reed's whole joke is that he's talking about on Twitter all these people he's going to tsunami, and like, why not tsunami?
The President of the United States, please.
Yeah, please. Yeah, no, I would love that. Also, I can't wait.
Bronson Reed is very, very, very down bad for Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say he was down bad for Taylor Swift. It doesn't make sense that he would be down bad for Sabrina. That's not Sabrina's song.
No, because Sabrina Carpenter infamously released the cover to her album, and people are like, no, people don't know how to behave on the internet. And Bronson Reed posted the picture of it and said, because in the picture there is.
Isn't he married?
Yes, he is. But in the picture of the album cover, off camera, you see like a black suit and a tie, and Sabrina Carpenter is holding the tie. And Bronson Reed says, I do wear a lot of black suits. Someone need to call this man's wife. Didn't he just have a kid?
Yeah, yes he did. So it's also very impressive. So CM Punk and John Cena then start working together against the big Australian Godzilla monster Kaiju. Punk, I believe, hit him with a GTS, and then Cena very impressively picks up the 350-pound monster, hits him with an AA, and Punk and Cena then share the ring.
Also, let me say that again. John Cena, who is almost 50 years old, hoisted a 300-pound Bronson Reed over his head.
Oh, he's more than that. Bronson Reed's way more than that.
Can we give Cena a standing ovation for that?
Yes.
This is the man in my childhood who lifted Big Show and Edge over his shoulders for a split second at WrestleMania 25.
Yeah. So what happens next is Punk and Cena, they're planting those seeds for the Cena redemption arc and the babyface turn that we all see coming into the fall and into the end of his run. They shake hands, they share a hug, but then you get the infamous look that instigated the John Cena heel turn where he looks over the shoulder and he just looks dead into the camera and he's like, staring into your soul. I'm
It's
gonna
like
fucking kick this guy in the balls.
one comment that I saw after Elimination Chamber was like John Cena activated like he was the Winter Soldier.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And once again, activated like the Winter Soldier. People are replicating that moment from the Elimination Chamber at conventions and meeting John Cena. They are hugging this man, and John Cena's peering over their shoulder looking like, oh, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to kick you in the balls.
I love how John Cena hasn't changed one bit outside of the ring. He still loves the fans.
No way.
He's having the time of his life during this retirement run.
Yeah. If I ever meet John Cena, I want him to hug me in the picture and him looking like the Winter Soldier over my shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah, I want that so bad. So these guys go at it for a little while longer. And then what was the finish? Was it just a
no,
Cena?
So the finish was after that hug happened, Cena went for the dick kick, but CM Punk was able to counter it. He went for the GTS one more time. Seth Rollins jumps back in one more time, blasts Cena in the face. Cena blasts Punk in the face with the Money in the Bank briefcase, hit a curb stomp. Cena was able to get Rollins out of the ring and get the cover to win and retain the WWE Championship.
Cena escaped by the skin of his ass.
Yeah.
Like, it was, he was, one big crux of the story of this is how close Punk was to doing it. Like, again, it's like Punk has Cena's number in a lot of cases. Like we think back to Money in the Bank 2011, how Cena lost that, how he lost at Night of Champions, the aforementioned match. The only big profile match that I can think of Cena actually beating Punk decisively was that Raw match. But everywhere else, Punk has had Cena's number. So
also, they mentioned at the beginning of the match that Cena and Punk were tied 6 for 6, not counting the infamous match they had on Raw where the Nexus debuted that went to a no contest. And there was one other match that went to a disqualification. When it comes to pinfall victories, Cena and Punk are 6 for 6. So this was the ultimate tiebreaker.
This was the rubber match, apparently. And Cena wins, again, escaping with the title for one more pay-per-view. Oh, man, this match is so hard to rate, man.
You know what? No. I'm going to give it 3 3/4 stars. This was more than I ever could have asked for in a Cena Punk match in 2025.
Yeah, 3 3/4 stars. I think that's fair.
There are some times where you have to take the smart glasses off and let the nostalgia run through you. And the nostalgia was so real during this match. Like I said, when Cena caught Punk off the top rope and put him in the attitude adjustment, I felt like I was in high school all over again.
Yeah.
And it was just so fun. People keep sharing that meme of like, oh, me at 10 years old watching John Cena win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 21. Me at 30 years old watching Cena win at WrestleMania again. That's how I felt. That's truly what I was embodying during that match. Like, I remember being in high school, watching WWE, watching Money in the Bank, watching Night of Champions, watching Cena and Punk, which I didn't know at the time, were having all-time classics. And now here I am, nearing 31 years old, and I get to see it one more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... and we're about halfway through 2025 now. As we speak, it's about 3 hours away from July.
And you know what else, man?
Halfway through the retirement tour, and I'm just planning on enjoying it as much as I still can.
It finally hit me talking about this match that, at least for myself, as a fan, I am being privileged that I get to enjoy John Cena, heel or not, be the WWE champion one more time.
Yeah.
As much as fun as we poke about it, this is probably how 80s fans in 2002 felt, even if it was for a month when Hulk Hogan was WWE champion.
Except that was way worse. That was way worse.
For sure. But, just the feeling of seeing their childhood hero be the world champion one more time. It's like, we don't realize how lucky we are. 5-10 years down the line, we're going to look back at this time and be like, damn, that was the last time John Cena was world champion. And I wish I can go back to that time. I know it's not the best heel run in the world. It's not the best title run in the world. These aren't the best matches in the world.
No.
But let's just enjoy it while we can.
Well,
Because
and
there's
again,
years from now where we're going to want John Cena back. And we're going to wish we appreciated when he was here.
let me reiterate this, though. I feel like people's expectations for Cena's heel run were so unrealistically sky high. And people, I know they, like, listen, playing devil's advocate, I know they've been wanting it for a long time. But you do have to consider the fact that it probably wasn't going to be the greatest thing to ever hit wrestling. You know?
No. Wrestling fans' expectations are always through the roof. It always reminds me of, like, remember back when we were anticipating Avengers Endgame or Spider-Man No Way Home or, like, the new Star Wars films? I saw this one particular...
The new Star Wars films, I think, are a better analogy for this. But yeah,
people would be disappointed with those movies, and then people would be out there making memes saying, like, oh, my expectations were ruined. The expectations, they wanted every single character in the world to show up. They wanted the X-Men. They wanted the Justice League. They wanted Sonic the Hedgehog. They wanted the Simpsons to show up. It's like, your expectations are unattainable. Very unattainable. They wanted John Cena to become Hitler.
Yeah.
They wanted John Cena to form the New World Order.
It's well, and I mean they could have if The Rock committed to the bit and actually was John Cena's Palpatine, but
yeah,
you know, can't win them all. Can't win them all.
No, we can't win them all, but it's like it's starting to set in, man. It's really starting to set in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be crying like a little bitch in December once
John Cena has, like, what, 15 appearances left?
Yep.
Again, he said it after WrestleMania, not matches, appearances. So whether he's cutting a promo, doing a run-in, wrestling a match, every time we see John Cena on our television screens, it's one more appearance gone.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And we've gotten so many goofy ass faces from John Cena in that time, and I can't wait to see what others he pulls off in these last 15. I don't know where I was going with that, but, like, I mean, I can't wait to see him oversimplify the rules to specific match types. I can't wait to I can't wait to joke about how he if I climb this ladder and grab that title, I win.
Logan Paul, you listen to me. This is how the match works. I stand on apron, you slap hand. Gets me in the match. If I slap your hand, you're in the match. Get into your sixth goal.
Oh my God. If I beat him, I go there.
Damn it. No, Rollins, if you have briefcase, you cash in briefcase, you become part of the match. And if you can win title, I will not allow that.
I'm alive now. Oh, man, dude. Yeah, this was fun. Night of Champions 2025. I'm giving it...
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
7.25 out of 10 for me. I think it's better wrestled show than I think people are giving it credit for. Definitely one result annoyed the fuck out of us, as you can tell. But, yeah, I mean, this was... solid night of wrestling, a lot worse ways to spend 3 hours of your life. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and tap on that thumbs up as well. Lots of wrestling content to discuss as we inch towards episode 200 of the ZNT Wrestling Show. We have some stuff planned.
2 weeks out. AEW All In, Evolution, Saturday night's main event, NXT Great American Bash. Be patient with us as we try to figure all this shit out. We have a plan. We know what we're going to prioritize. Yeah, of course, NXT always gets the axe, but there is so much goddamn wrestling going on that weekend. We're going to prioritize All In, and then Evolution, and then if we have time, we will go over Saturday night's main event. All shows will be watched, but no guarantee they're all going to get reviews because WWE fucking hates us and can't let us just enjoy All In on its own. They got to throw in 3 shows that same weekend.
Ay, dude. Yeah, it's like I love the fact that we get to consume this much wrestling at a time, but at the same time, I'm like, there's not enough time in the day. There really isn't. But yeah, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up, of course. We have some ideas of what we want to do for our 200th episode. Stay tuned, of course. And we have not forgotten about the retros. Those are still on the table. I know you guys are not going to forgive us for how freaking late we are with a lot of these, but, you know, we... Again, real life gets in the way sometimes.
It's a lot of fucking wrestling, man. So much wrestling.
It is, man. Yeah, but we love it. We love it.
Yeah,
so,
oh yeah, the train never stops.
The train never stops. Stay tuned.
Except to take a piss.
Yes, which I'm sure we both have to do at this point. But yeah, take care, guys.